And here we have one case about the business and nature, which will be presented by Annette Wabul, Deputy Director of Madara Cosmetics. And I should say that Madara Cosmetics is one of the corporative responsible entrepreneurs working in that business with a very clear idea how responsibility can come together with the business purposes. So more will be explained by yourself, so the floor is yours, but from politics to business, and then let's have some broader questions and discussion afterwards.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anita, and I will tell you a bit more about the company I work in, Madara Cosmetics. Madara is a local producer of natural and organic certified skincare products. And the packaging we use for our products is either recyclable or is coming from post-consumer recycled materials. And also the processing techniques that we use are in a way that are sustainable and safe and friendly to the nature. So here you can see a graph of Madara development throughout the years. Our average growth percent has been around 20%, which is higher than the average beauty market growth, which indicates that there is a demand for natural products and for products that are created in sustainable and ethical businesses. Most of our turnover comes from export, and the main exporting countries for us are in the European Union, mainly Scandinavia. We have two house brands. One is Madara and the other one is Mossa. And we also offer contract manufacturing services to other companies. And we are especially proud of the cases when a company which currently manufactures synthetic products comes to us with a request to place their production with us. And since we have zero understanding of synthetic products, what we offered was to replace all of the synthetic ingredients with natural ones, and we managed to create their most popular product only with natural ingredients and have the same quality and organoleptic parameters as their current product. So Madara's story began in 2006 when my colleague Lotte had an allergy from an eye cream. And she started to investigate more why this happened, what caused it. And she researched more about the ingredients that were in the product. And she discovered that many of the synthetic ones actually are harmful to the skin, and they tear down the natural protective barrier. So she started to look for alternatives for natural products, but at that time there were none which were with nice texture, which smelled nice, which looked good, which had nice packaging. So she joined forces with 3 other dear colleagues of mine. And here we are now. We have 12 years of experience in developing natural and organic products. We have one of the most modern equipment and modern factories in Northern Europe. And another important milestone in our development is the fact that in 2017 we were listed in Nasdaq Baltic First North Alternative List. And actually with our IPO we also tried to tell people more about not only the sustainable product we have, but also about sustainable thinking in personal finances. We had a small educational program about this. And nature and sustainability are also part of our values among science and humanity. And our motto, deeper than skin, means that nowadays we think that it's not only about good skincare or how well the product makes you look, but it's also about how it makes you feel inside. And whether it leaves the environment around you in the same state as it was before the product was made. So deeper than skin really is about this beauty inside out, which is very important to us, and we try to deliver it to our customers. As you know, good food starts with good ingredients, and the same is with skincare. Already from the very beginning, our focus was on regional plants and regional ingredients. And in the very beginning, we understood that actually northern plants are not researched very much. So we decided to look more into them. And we discovered that due to the short summers that we have here in northern regions, the plants concentrate all of their energy and all of their active ingredients during the short blossoming period in order to be able to survive the long winters, which is what makes them very valuable for skincare application. So as I mentioned, we have our own factory, but we also have our R&D lab where we develop all of our products, which allows us to be really fast and responsive to any market changes. But the heavy research we do together with University of Latvia, and more specifically, I would like to excel scientist Anna Rāmata-Stunda, with whom we have worked on several research projects. And now I will tell a bit more about what revelations we have had from natural ingredients. So the two most common things I've heard about comparing synthetic and natural products is that one is, natural products don't really work. I don't believe that it's possible to create something equivalent to a synthetic product. And the second one is that, yes, but natural products don't have as nice textures and as nice smells or any other parameters as the synthetic ones. And this just brings more fuel to our drive to combat these misconceptions. So when we started to think about our anti-aging line, we were thinking which ingredient is known for its rejuvenating and restoring properties. And I think that every Latvian will know that one of the things that helps to wake up after long winters is birch juice, which we get from birch trees in very early springs, right as the snow is starting to melt. And so we decided to put birch sap under the microscope and see what we get out. And we discovered that actually it's very rich with various active substances, various minerals and vitamins. And what's more important, we discovered that birch juice helps cells to regenerate, which is one of the most important things in anti-aging products, that the cells continue regenerating. And the second project we had was we were thinking if we would be able to replace silicone, to find a natural alternative for silicone, which is widely used in hair care products in order to smooth it and make it easier to comb. And we found out that actually chanterelles contain silicone-like fungi polymers, which both chemically and also from the visual look are very similar to the synthetic silicone. And when we were treating damaged hair with both synthetic silicone and chanterelle polymer, we discovered that actually the effect was quite similar. As you can see on the picture on the left, there's damaged hair by bleach or heat, and in the middle picture you can see synthetic silicone, and on the right chanterelle fungi polymer. So the result is quite similar. This is the line that we developed using chanterelle water extracts. And another important thing to note about this line is that the packaging is 100% post-consumer recycled bottles. And with this line, we also introduced first bio-based plastics, which is not made from crude oil, but from sugarcane and wood leftovers. And the third challenge we took up, and actually this was our longest battle, was to develop sun protection products. And it was difficult because in natural sector it is allowed to use only two natural sun protecting agents. One is titanium dioxide and the other one is zinc oxide. But these ingredients are very thick paste-like substances which can be compared to some paint used for coloring wood. And it's not something that anyone would like to put on their face. So we try to see how we can mix and match emollients and oils and waxes in order to incorporate these ingredients into formulations. And I'm really proud that we managed to achieve this. The textures are just as light and just as nice as any synthetic alternative you would find on the market. And second thing I would like to tell about these products is that we used stem cells as active ingredients in sun care products. So stem cells are plant substances which are grown in a lab. So we don't have to harvest or use land in order to collect these ingredients. We simply grow the necessary active component in lab environment. And in addition to this, to the having nice texture and to using plants which haven't been used, for which the landfill hasn't been used, it was important to have this natural sunscreen because of the ocean pollution that is that comes from synthetic and chemically made sunscreens, which are then tearing down the coral reefs and making the environment for ocean animals unpleasant to live. So I told a bit about how we create these sustainable formulations, but of course the second thing, a very important thing for every consumer product is the packaging. And we are very proud to say that already from the very beginning in 2006, we used only recyclable packaging, and already from 2008 we started using post-consumer recycled packaging, and I think now it's around 30% of all our packaging is post-consumer recycled. As you can see from the graph, the biggest share of plastic waste comes from packaging, so we really do feel responsible as a manufacturer to have our share in fixing this problem. Here is just an example of one of our products, which is packed in post-consumer recycled bottles. And we also devoted our holiday line to sustainability issues and to sustainable packaging. We work with the only company in the world who is allowed by United Nations to collect plastic packaging from ocean depths and from ocean waters, not only from the beaches or surrounding areas. And this company then creates plastic flakes, which are then turned into plastic bottles. And our sustainability universe goes much broader than just the product. 3 years ago, we committed ourselves to voluntary reporting standard, which is called ESG. And this standard covers three very important areas. One is environmental sustainability, the second one is social responsibility and corporate governance. Here you can see a few highlights from last year's ESG report. So we work with green energy, we really try to keep our CO2 emissions low, and we also give back to community by providing legal and psychological consultations to children and women who have suffered from domestic violence. And all of the three ESG reports are available online if you want to see more information about our sustainable practices. And on the final note, I would like to say that we perhaps don't think this is the best or the worst way to do a business. We actually see this as the only way to do the business, and we really want all our future generations to have the same quality of life as we have, with clean waters, clean forests, biodiversity, change of seasons, and we really hope that by challenging conventional products and by challenging conventional methods, we will also inspire others to work in the same way. Thank you.
Very good example, and we have time for questions, and if we can connect to the Slido, that would be perfect. So you see how the rates of your questions are coming up, and what is important and what less. But at least I have the first couple of questions immediately, and the first thing is, when you come from the business environment, so you have all your strategies and nobody says, is it allowed or not, this is your kind of mission-based business. How do you believe we can really put the business on the mainstream working with the green issues? Should it come from the consumer side, that we educate ourselves and there is real demand for lifestyle of health and sustainability growing? Yeah. Should it be regulated more from the state level and all the political regulations? Mm-hmm. Or should it be really business driven? Like to form new paradigms of consumerism and all the other things. So from which angle you see we can do faster the business greener for society?
I think, well, at the moment, I see that it's mostly consumer driven and maybe a little bit also regulatory driven. But I think for every business owner, if they check also that working in a sustainable manner and working with natural products is also profitable, and it also brings high turnover. So for like every businessman, I think this should be the biggest motivation.
So you think that ethics is inside how we earn the money? That's an important issue there. Or?
Yeah, it has been always part of Madara, and as a consumer becomes more educated, I think it will be more and more difficult for companies who work with unethical practices to continue their work, because consumers are not fools, and they will make their choice and give their money to the ones that they believe will ensure their quality of life.
Let's pick up one question from here. People voted 4 times for that one, about your contribution to protected areas. I know that from social responsibility you do a lot with social care and women care and children, but do you have something to give back also as a contribution to the nature?
I think our main, I see that our actually main contribution is the fact that we use ingredients which are sourced only from biological farming. So this allows to maintain the biodiversity, to ensure that the plants will be available also in 10 years after we harvest them. So I would say that this is the main point.
And then, are you doing the tests with animals, or
no,
you don't have it?
It's also forbidden.
That was just curiosity
EU,
by 4 people
EU
in the audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
fine to say no? No.
No, we actually do tests only on our employees.
Okay, that's why you are alone today here.
Yeah, they are actually very happy to do it. To be honest, at my home I have only a few ready-made products. The rest are just samples, development projects. Yeah.
Okay, then another thing is the asset from the consumer perspective. They usually argue that nature-valued products, organic products, they are more expensive, and we have a lot of different alternatives. And what is the message to them just towards that asset?
I think, well, maybe it will be a bold statement, but I think that the synthetic and conventional products perhaps are not fairly priced, so they are kind of driving the price down, and they do not include all of the indirect costs in their products. So we also, so for example, using a biologically farmed chamomile extract and synthetically harvested chamomile extract is much cheaper than having it biologically farmed, because we can't, so per square meter we are able to collect less of this ingredient than, for example, some like without biological farming. So yes, there are these indirect costs which are actually incorporated into the product price. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you. Still stay here on the stage, but I should give the microphone because we got a few questions still for the first speaker, and I see that Rauno is sitting in the shadow very comfortably, but we should address one question to you, and the highest position was for the question regarding can you bring a positive example or the case study of political lobbying where really nature has benefited from that through that lobbying of politicians? I hope.
You can come here.
Or you can, yeah, you can just come here.
Right, I can say that for instance, just now in Finland, the Parks and Wildlife Service has more than enough money, I would say. So sometimes it works. But there were difficult times when we realized early that we had a kind of minority supporting us in the parliament, and there were some big projects going on. Then we lost at all the parliamentary committees, where we still thought that we have some hope. And finally, at the Constitutional Committee, we won by one vote, just one vote, and it was one guy from the party where he decided to put the advantage of the nation first, and the second was the advantage of the party. So it was very good. But I can give you one example where the lobbying is also quite easy. We used to have, and maybe still have, a kind of nature club in the parliament with members from different parties. And that's something that connects those same-minded nature-supporting, nature-friendly politicians. And that has sometimes been very useful in building bridges. And somebody asked about the air shot. Are we targets or bullets? In fact, I was using the term missile when I was doing some that kind of work in the past. I think that it's a kind of loser attitude to just wait there as a target and now the bullet is coming. But just better to be a missile full of positive energy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.